Back porch video part 2. It's been really crappy in the 4 days since we completed part 1. I'm pretty sure a hurricane came through this place. It was like 55 mile an hour, cold, rainy wind. Everyone told me I was steeled for the Pennsylvania winters. I was not prepared for the Northeast spring. This is a whole thing. But anyway, but we're back to having pretty weather. Today it's Monday, so time to get back to this porch project.
Posts are in, our studs are in the posts, or actually the footers rather. We're gonna take a few measurements and then go run and buy some lumber so we can get the actual posts and joists in. And once that's done, that's when this process goes a lot faster, because then we're just throwing in the floor and then we can actually sit out here at some point.
That'd be nice.
So,
you know, because I keep looking at this and I'm like, this looks very unimpressive for the amount of work that we did last week.
And we are also doing this while recovering from me having a weekend down at AuthorCon, drinking entirely too much. Which I have to thank Eric Parker and Steve Amadeo and Al. I don't know if I even got Al's last name, but it was a great time, and Charlotte was partying with her friend here for her birthday. It's gonna be a rough Monday.
Yeah, well, we made the gym. We can do this too.
Back to work.
Pushing through it is. Right, Jack?
These first. We'll just put them right over here. You just lost your microphone.
Oh.
Oh, whoa. Does that mean the magnet is laying here somewhere, or is it still in your shirt?
Haha. Look at that.
Nice.
Saved by the belt.
Well done.
Did you catch that?
If I lift these, you can put the tailgate down. That'll make it a little easier.
Woo!
Yeah, that sucked.
Break them?
Let's at least get one of these out.
I'm just kidding anyway.
Oh, I'm still on time.
Unless you're gonna do it.
So one of the first things we gotta do is get this off. We had talked about maybe even actually reusing it because it's really solid and it is attached very well. But as you come farther down, so you can see there's some spots where the water had sat behind it long enough that it started to rot. It's probably still solid enough, but we also need, I want to say this one's like 10 feet. I think we need 12. But so we got to get that removed. I'm going to try to pry it off, and if not, I'm going to have to use a Sawzall and cut those nails. Just don't let me hit you with this.
Oh, I won't.
Sound of that bumblebee.
Yeah, I can hear him. We've got bumblebees. I can't even begin to try and film them. They go so fast. It's like 5 or 6 all of a sudden out here today, and 2 of them are either fighting or mating. We're not sure.
Okay.
Spring is sprung-ish.
We are making a bit of progress with these now.
I was supposed to say that yet. This is the beginning of the video.
That's true. Oh, there we go.
I saw a bunch of stuff come out.
There we go. We'll see. Maybe get the skill saw and like cut this into sections so I don't have to try to pry it all, but we'll see how it keeps going.
Okay. Ta-da!
You did all the hard work.
See? Wasn't that bad?
I washed my hat so that you people at AuthorCon didn't have to see my disgusting hat after I work in it, but I'm definitely going to make it filthy again after today. Here, let me try this one, because this bar is so long, it makes this a lot.
Made my jaw cramp.
Yeah, this bar's much better.
I guess I could use this one a long way.
I think maybe we'll cut it one more time right here.
Okay.
We're going to definitely pull this one. We'll look at this one.
Yeah, those ones aren't bad.
Unfortunately, this is a lot of what we're going to run into.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure most of the house probably looks like these. So. But got to do these ones now because we won't be able to get to them later.
Wire hangers.
I saw that there. I wondered what it was. It's just a bent nail.
Pretty much.
Smart. I won't lie, I'm not sad to see the siding starting to come off. This faux brick, whatever it's made out of, stuff is not my fave. But it looks like the wood under there is not as bad as I thought, actually. I mean, we're definitely gonna have to replace some spots, but not terrible.
There you go. There's your last
That was
post.
an old porch post,
Yep.
faux porch post, I suppose.
Good thing is, what I can see underneath that is that hand-hewn beam from down there.
Oh yeah?
So
Oh,
that's
from in the
gonna be-
basement?
Yeah, so that sucker's gonna be, yeah, that's good. So we got a good spot that we can mount the new board to, the new ledger.
So we don't need to cover it back up, we're just gonna mount it directly to that beam?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, you see how good they were? They even put this little shim in here to level it. And that would have just been like a hand cut with hand hewn or hand cut nails too.
To level, you mean the board that went on top of it?
Yeah, because that original hand hewn beam has a little bit of a curve to it.
Yeah.
It's the kind of crap that they knew to do. What I'm thinking is I'll pull those couple pieces of scrap off. We'll go get the boards that are that size. And then we can fasten the ledger board, although we're gonna need a longer ledger board too. Actually, wait a minute. We bought 5?
Yeah.
Nope, we don't need one. One of those over there will work. We'll just need the thin boards. Because we need 2 of those for this beam, 2 of those for the beam that runs across that, and then 1 for the house. And I wasn't even thinking about it. So, you know, you decide whether or not you want a deck that comes basically straight off of the threshold, or if you want to step down.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking about it because I haven't lived in Pennsylvania in 18 years or whatever, 20 years. Generally here you do the step. You don't do like we did in Texas where it's right there.
Yeah, because there's snow or whatever.
Exactly, because of snow. So these posts are going to be pretty damn short. Because till you come down a step, I mean, it's only going to be that high. So this thing is going to be obnoxiously strong.
Good. I'm good with that.
Can you see where the bottom of the old house, the original house, how the posts have holes drilled and there's pegs hammered in, holding them in place? Old school joinery.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. Here.
There you go, buddy.
Here. Here.
As long as you're at the edge of the window,
I'm over the top of the window.
that's fine. Ow, you just want to get it where it's gonna sit.
So we don't
I need a level.
need it in place?
No.
Okay.
Let me grab my level and then I'll explain it to you again.
Shut up, silly woman.
We don't need to attach it. We're using it as a guide to know the height we're gonna need out here. The deck will then, partially where this is where it's gonna go. It'll be up deck board height more,
Makes sense.
but we should measure this and level it because it should be about 6-inch drop. So we're gonna grab tape measure, well, there, because then an inch up would be there. So, well, we're just gonna raise this up to here, up to the 7-inch mark. Let me mark it, and I can help you get it up there. But even to do that, I have to pull more of this piece of trim off, or the siding, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can set this down. Oh, there's another nail sticking out anyway. We're gonna put it 1 inch below the height that we want it to sit at, because we're gonna add 1 inch of deck wood on top. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
So that'll put us at 6 inches. And we're just gonna put screws at that height out here at the ends, because we're not exactly 12 feet wide. So if we put the posts in first, then we can put a board against it and tell exactly how wide this ledger board is supposed to be.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does it actually make sense, or are you placating me?
No, it actually makes sense.
Right there, I need you to come down to the middle, because we are way, way off level.
Oh, that's what I was worried about.
Where are we at now? That's so crooked looking.
Well, I mean, we're still a little high on this end. But the house is also high on this end.
Put it back down here once. Yeah, I'd need to drop that in even more, which would make it even more exaggerated. That's what I mean. The problem is, this is a 200-plus-year-old house, so it is not level. And if we build the deck level, then when you step out of the house, it's going to be onto something that is at a different angle than the house. But if you build it to the same level as the house, then when you step out, the deck is going to be crooked.
I'm Googling it. It says your deck should never be level with your home. There's no reason not to make it level. Leveling is extremely important as one cannot sit on a wooden deck that isn't level. That's true. We're going to have chairs and your smoker and all that on it.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. What I'm trying to think of is there a way to split the difference to where it is slightly off-center, which makes it closer to the house but better than the house, but less of an optical thing that when you're standing here looking at it, you're like, why in the shit is the house crooked on the deck? And maybe it doesn't matter. I mean, it is a 200-plus-year-old house, but is it also the kind of thing that every day for the next however many years we're in this house, we look at it and go, and that annoys the crap out of me, that deck and the house are like...
I don't know. I tend to think the other way. That it's going to bother us more that the deck's not level.
It's crazy because when I'm in the house, I never feel like the floors are that... I mean, there's parts where you're like, it's uneven.
Yeah.
But I don't walk around feeling like I'm walking, downhill.
Well, I think, like you said, it's the doorway is a ½ an inch off. But that's also just like, that's an old board in the threshold. So I think a lot of it is probably optical illusion, because everything that we're looking at is uneven.
All right, yeah, we'll build it level. Underbar. Yeah. See what I mean about how short these posts are gonna be?
Yeah.
Looks like it's gonna have to come up just a hair.
That looks pretty spot on. Pretty level, I'd say. What are we looking at here?
22 inches. Just under 23 inches.
Okay.
This thing, if it moves or falls, like, we screwed up.
I think now the worst problem we're gonna have is whether it looks janky on the house or not. I mean, honestly, it's gonna be really nice while the house looks like this.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna look janky no matter what. I think we're gonna be okay. Let's go eat some lunch.
Yeah.
Then we'll feel better.
Took a lunch break, lost the hat. Gonna have to sunscreen at some point, but got my measurements for my first post. I'd like to get this thing cut and mounted. Once the posts are in, then everything starts going quite a bit faster. So I made my first 4 initial cuts on this first post. Cut it all the way around. My skill saw isn't big enough to cut through that. So I have to do the rest with the Sawzall. Yeah, I could have gone and bought a new sliding miter saw, but even with that, as big as these boards are, this is just the easiest way to do it. Not too terrible, a little uneven. This is gonna get notched out though, so it's not really gonna matter. But that's one. You'll get to see it, but this will sit in here. Which if I bump that string, it's gonna mess it up, but this will sit down in there. Then we're gonna notch this out to fit our beams in, and then we'll be good. So I gotta measure that, cut again, keep this process rolling.
Well, It turns out that maybe Brian wasn't wrong about how unlevel that is. You want to explain, honey?
So we've said on this channel that we're going to show all of our mistakes.
Which is a good thing, or we'd have no content.
Yeah, we're being honest. We're not. I am not Bob Vila. I am more Tim the Tool Man than I am Bob Vila. We put that up there. We got that ledger ready. It's not the full-blown ledger. It's just a temporary marker. We thought, man, it's crazy how off level it is from the house. The house must have really sank over the last 200 years. So we got it level off of that. We ran a string out, made level marks to cut the first 4 beams, or 4 posts rather. We never put a screw here to run a string line out for level to get these measurements. So I thought, real quick, we'll just run the string from there to there, find level and center, right about here. We're good to go. When we put the string up with the string level on it,
It was way off.
way off level, like way off. So this is still sitting up here and we're like, how are these 2 levels so different? And Charlotte picked up this level. It had a bunch of wet concrete and dirt stuck on the bottom, not enough that it would like teeter and you could notice, but enough that it threw the level off. So I can show you, that's pretty much level there.
Oh yeah. Look at it compared to that board.
So what this means is, and I'll be honest, it's not the easiest thing in the world for me to acknowledge this level of stupidity. This was a bonehead mistake that really frustrates me. But the reason it's really frustrating is that means that these 2 posts are the wrong size. They're useless to me now, which means we just wasted like $35 worth of lumber. We have enough to go ahead and fix the problem. It's just frustrating. But the one bonus that I will say is this is a true testament to what the settlers of this country were capable of doing. Because this house was built by, you have to assume, a handful of family members that came out here and stacked stones and then used axes and crap to make beams. And I forget the tool what it's called to hew the beams, but all that.
Hewner.
Yeah. They did all that, built this house. Then my grandfather filled it with 70 tons of trash and left it sit unhelped for 60 years. And that house is still dang near level.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because we'll show you for sure when we get it moved, but based on where you move the string to and everything, once we actually get it really level, it is going to actually look level on the house too. It's not the house's fault like we thought it was. It's the level's fault.
So while I may not be much of one for building a house, clearly the people who built the house are. So a couple more Kool-Aids and then back at it, but this is a frustrating one.
Thanks to my bestie Melissa for leaving these after our birthday weekend. They're definitely coming in handy. It's okay, babe.
So dumb.
I can tell you guys one thing, I am so acclimated to Pennsylvania at this point. It's so hot. It's probably like 75 degrees and I'm like, oh.
Oh, Brian, all you do is complain about the heat.
You were in Texas long enough. You
Nope.
would think that you would have gotten over this.
When
But I
you
know
grow-
you don't have to be here long to get over Texas.
When you grow up in this, Texas thing is nonsense.
Do you want me to be helping with that instead of filming?
No, this is so much better.
All right, let me help.
Okay, so we were getting ready to change this. We changed the string, made it level. Figure we'll change the board, we'll compare the 2 levels, get them even. We'll know we're in good shape. Now I can feel a little bit better about myself and the mistake that we made before, because these levels are very different. This level says it's almost perfect, but a little high on the left side, or on the right side. This one says it's significantly high on the left side. So one of these is wrong, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be this one, because even just visually, looking at it.
Yeah, it's way, not like, when we moved just the string, they looked crazy off, but now it's crazy off the other way.
Yeah. Actually, so that makes me wonder, is it bowed? And when you picked it up and cleaned it the first time, you flipped it over.
I did flip it over.
Okay, so it's wrong.
Because there was less dirt on that other side.
So it was
I
wrong.
flipped it over and cleaned that side instead of the side we had it on.
It was wrong this way, and then you flipped it over, and now it's wrong this way. So it's wrong.
So it's, okay. So how many other things did we measure last week that are off?
Oh, just the supports for the...
Just these. We used the plastic level. And actually showed a little bit high. That went in, but if you look at it, I mean, that looks level. The string and the board look level. Here we go. Here's a test.
Well, you didn't flip it over.
I flipped it around.
Yeah, you need to flip it over to tell.
Well, I wanted to flip it around because it would be, see, it's high on that other side now.
Was it high on this side before?
Yeah.
So it's, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, so like if, like this,
Yep.
see, it's high right there. And then when you flip it this way,
Yep.
see, in the exact same spot.
So, what that means is, I am not nearly as retarded as I was thinking I was. This makes me feel so much better about myself. Because I could not, you can ask Charlotte, prior to even recording what we recorded, I was like, I don't understand how you get an even enough layer of dirt on the bottom of a level that it changes the level, but it still sits perfectly flat on the board. I was like, that doesn't make sense. You'd think it would teeter around.
Well, and it didn't make any sense. And what you guys didn't see after we showed you, you know, the issue with the level, I went in and, because it was still showing off, we moved the board, and then the board was that crazy angle you saw. So I went inside and scrubbed the level so that there was no dirt anywhere on it, and it was still off.
Man.
So, you know, we're gonna milk this for as many videos as we can anyway, so.
It's gonna be a 17-part series.
All right, we have purchased a new level, plastic level.
That's the string level.
Yep, this is our new Craftsman level. And this is the original aluminum level. Can you see it? Oh my gosh. So off.
It's damn near freaking the same. Where's the tape measure?
He's talking about the wallboard sticking out. Like,
that is infuriating.
I guess I'm the one who screwed up by saying, it's fine, we'll make it level.
Yeah, it's your fault. I should have said let's level on the house. Where'd the tape measure go?
I don't know, but I'm not helping you now.
It's right there behind you. Right where I was standing when I started looking for it. So that's about 3 1/8. And that's about 3 1/2. So it's pretty dang for a 200-year-old house.
Yeah, well, we already established that the door frame itself isn't quite level.
Yeah, well, it's all warped and old and rotted. Oh my gosh. I don't suck nearly as bad at this as I thought I did earlier today.
It's pretty level. The door frame is pretty level. He feels vindicated. You feel better?
Come over here and look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. How does it feel to have your honor restored?
Feels pretty good because I was really thinking, man, of all the stupid mistakes that I've ever made and shown to the world, this was like top 3. And I just could not believe that I was that wrong.
What are your top 3 mistakes that you've shown to the world?
Actually, this is probably number 1 that I've shown the world. I've made dumber mistakes, but I didn't tell people about
Do you
it.
want to go over those?
Well, somebody asked about driving through the cornfield.
Oh yeah, you want to tell that story?
Well, I should say there was no cornfield story. So
There was no cornfield story. You disappointed all of Jason's viewers.
there was no cornfield story. There are 2 stories that I assume Jason is conflating one of the 2. there was a spot that we considered the 4x4 proving ground that was down an old dirt road. It's a very steep hill that used to be a strip mine, but it was this real steep hill, and when you owned a 4x4, you would see if you could get to the top of it.
Okay.
And I took the Taurus and I got to the top of it.
Whose Taurus was it?
I mean, my parents bought it. They bought it for my brother, and then they let me drive it until I bought my truck.
Okay, so it's kind of everybody's Taurus.
Yeah, I mean, it was my brother's. My parents had a rule: if you did well in school and everything, they'd help you with a car. If you were an idiot, you bought your own car, so.
Fair enough.
I had to drive it for a minute, but it was mainly my brother's.
Okay.
But yes, I got it to the top of the hill. That was pretty hard on it, but really, the most damage I did to that car was, how do I say this?
The 4x4 proving ground with the Taurus.
I'm not sure what the statute of limitations are, so I'll word this as properly as I can. I was evading detention.
Oh gosh.
And the lights were on and I was getting away. And the fastest way to get away was to drive down some old defunct train tracks. And I was probably doing 70 miles an hour down them. And they are not smooth.
Mm-hmm.
But I did in fact evade detention. So yeah, I got away and the car still worked. We ran it for another 5 years after that, 4 years after that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, you know, that was one of 3 times in a car that I did that.
You mean proved yourself on the 4x4
Yes, that's what I
proving
mean.
ground?
That's exactly what I mean.
That's what I thought.
That's
so.
exactly
Okay,
what I mean.
good.
It's level.
Yeah. Perfectly level.
That thing sucks. That was a whole day because of that piece of crap. Somebody commented and asked if this was going to be a 2-parter, if I was going to be Peter Jackson and turn this into a whole thing.
That's why I said that earlier.
This is going to be a 17-month series of building a back porch.
Our goal is to have it done by winter.
Yes. This thing is going in the dumpster.
That's not the dumpster, that's just our yard.
Okay, so it's a new day. I am sober now. I am much less flabbergasted at the situation. Actually, I need my tape measure. We're gonna measure this. I know I measured it last night, but I'm gonna confirm one more time that this string is good. And if that's good, we're gonna go ahead and hook this string up. We're gonna get measurements for all 6 of these posts, cut these posts, get them mounted, actually get something done today. And yes, as a friend already said to me today, and I have said many times in my life, a poor carpenter blames his tools. I am a poor carpenter, so I do not care. Okay.
I can't even slice bread evenly like that. Okay, so it's been like a lot of hours. Well, I guess maybe an hour and a half. It seems like forever. And we finally got posts all cut to the right length. You can see them laying there. It's starting to rain on us, but we're going to try and mark and cut the bolts here in just a minute. Maybe try and get that in before we break for lunch. Maybe it'll just rain during lunch and we'll be good to go.
If we can get those mounted, then we're ready to be mounted and we can notch them and put the beams in.
Yeah, so we'll have the basic frame done hopefully this evening, right?
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Well, now that you can actually hear what we're saying.
What I was saying is we're notching these 6x6s out. You can see the line. This is going to get cut out, removed. That way these 2x10s will sit 2 wide in that notch. Then we'll run a big lag bolt through, hold it all together. Like I've said a million times in this video, this is going to be massively overkill. But if this house has lasted as long as it has, I'm not going to be the one who screws it up by doing something half-assed.
Might be our level.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're there. What? You're there.
We just have to do that 5 more times.
Okay. No problemo.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I found the whole process to be quite easy. Yes, nicely done.
Good enough.
All right, that is
Time for
all 6.
Kool-Aid.
Melissa, we're gonna need you to make another.
B-double-E-double-R-U-N.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it.
So what we'll do is we'll pick them up, set them on there, but these are not bolted in, so we have to like gently.
Okay.
I guess we could run a couple of screws in to hold them secured enough. I can drill, insert eye bolts, then we can just lift this whole thing off. Well, it'd be hard, but we could probably do it.
It'll work. Oh, that's not so bad.
No, it was, I thought because I had pounded the boards down in, I was like, they may not come out very easily,
Yeah.
but they came out very easily, so. That's better.
Come on, number 5.
All right. Let's go there. We're gonna run one screw into each of these.
Okay.
Do the same thing on that one. Then we're gonna measure the inside so we can put up the ledger.
Okay. Oh, if I held it, that might be helpful.
Nah, help is almost never helpful.
Now when I'm doing it.
Okay, what I want you to do, and you're gonna probably suck at this, but
Probably.
it requires eyesight that you just stay on that side.
I'm already sucking at it.
Look at your board. Mine curves in towards the door. Does that one have a curve to it?
Yeah.
Which way?
In towards the door.
I'm more worried about the end that you're standing at. Which way does it
Oh.
curve?
I think it looks pretty straight.
All right, I will come check to make sure, but if one side's straight, that'll make it a lot easier.
Well, I would say yours is straight too, so.
Well, that's definitely no point because it is not even close. Yours is a lot closer than mine, but
So it's 147 and a half.
you sure? We got here.
Oh.
Why don't we trade sides?
Okay.
So I can confirm and make sure that you're.
I'm sorry that I'm blind.
I know, you're fine. Would you say 147 and a half?
Yeah.
Yep, that's good.
See? And now we have to put up the flashing.
Butyl tape, flashing, butyl tape over the nail holes of the flashing, then ledger board.
Okay. That sounds very waterproof.
Here, it'll probably sit on top of these two until we. Does it sit?
Yep.
Okay, just hold it there for a second. I should grab my impact.
Yeah,
I'm
you're gonna
have
burn
to.
up batteries with that thing.
Okay, now I'll grab my impact. All right, got the flashing flipped around and fixed. Realized that I'd put it on upside down. I wasn't thinking, I was thinking of the bottom piece, not the top piece. We got the tape put over it, the flashing tape. It's not the best in the world, but once we get the house sided, that'll really help prevent any more moisture from getting down to these old logs. So this should make it last forever. I put, I think, 26-inch lags into it, so it should never rip out. And now I get to start hanging joists. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. It's supposed to rain. I'm really hoping it holds out for a few hours so I can get a little bit more done. I didn't get as much done this week as I'd really hoped to. But like I said, we'll see. Maybe I can get more done and this will just be a blip in the video. But regardless, with a lot of setbacks and everything, we did get a lot done, and we're to the point where everything going forward is going to move much more rapidly. There's a lot less worrying about level and square and all that crap and just cutting boards and putting them in, but I'll show you what we got. So there's a lot of scrap laying under there, but we've got posts, beams, trusses, ledger. If the weather holds out, I'm going to put in the cross bracing between all the trusses. I'll cut the end off and put the end cap on there as well, and then maybe start putting down some deck boards. I'm not ready yet to do the handrail, but if I can at least get some on there, we can walk out there and sit and maybe even enjoy it for a minute. But lots of mistakes, lots of setbacks, lots of stupidity, lots of trips to lows. Just kind of is what it is. That's part of the name of the game when it comes to doing DIY work, is you miss things, you forget things, you miscalculate things. And you know, when we lived in Texas, we were 5 minutes from 1,000 different hardware stores. It's a little bit more of a thing here, you know, it is what it is. I'll have that porch done soon. We shall see. Okay, so this week we busted our butt and continued to get this deck done. This was a continuation from last week. Unfortunately, the weather's coming in, which isn't the end of the world. We could have got even more done, but the township supervisor stopped by, and because we didn't pull a permit to build this, we have to stop until we get a permit. Now, a big part of why we moved to the country is because I hate dealing with this kind of nonsense. I'm not gonna lie, I'm extremely disappointed that this crap even happens out here, because this house, my grandfather, God bless him, had turned this entire property into an absolute dumpster for 50 years. And now we buy it and we're improving the property and turning it into something that people can drive through here and be proud of. And we have to stop because we didn't ask permission to do it first. That kind of stuff drives me nuts. Now, I don't know the township supervisors, they might be good guys. This whole thing might just be a formality. I don't know. Maybe the permit will be very easy to get. All I know is I hate it that this is even a thing. That I want to fix something, I want to improve it. I've overbuilt this porch to a point that was way beyond necessity for what this house is. And yet it's still not good enough because I didn't ask permission first. That mainly frustrates me because there's a lot more to do around here, and if I have to stop every time to go ask somebody else what I can do with my house, it's not gonna work out great. Whatever. It is what it is. We did get a lot done. Hopefully this permit process is quick. We'll see. But regardless, we have made progress.
That's right.